Are you lacking a little bit of energy? Do you need a little bit of a boost? Or maybe you just want a tasty beverage? I got you covered. Introducing G Fuel, a sugar-free formula with loads of different flavors to choose from that'll give you a boost. These are a couple of the flavors out of the many that I really like. Now, G Fuel also has a non-caffeine line called Hydration, and these are absolute bangers containing a lot of electrolytes and vitamins. By using code SALT, you can get 20% off your purchase right now. Link in the description of the video. If you miss the salt, it's not my fault. What's up, YouTube? For today's video, with the full Gym Leader Ryme Pokemon team, I'm going to be continuing the Gym Leader series. Today, we're going to have a look at Ryme's team. So this is actually a doubles battle as well. I'll be using the exact moves these Pokemon get, the exact abilities, everything about them. The only thing I'll be doing is adding an item to them and adding EVs. Now, with the Terra, I'm only allowed to Terra the one Pokemon, which is the Toxtricity, and that is it. I've got 3 battles today. I hope you enjoy them. It's going to be all doubles battles. Let's get into it. First battle here, this one is against Chegosaurus, and we have a Dondozo and a Spidops leader. So it's interesting because you got like the really good Pokemon there, Dondozo, and the the Spidops that not many people would even use. So I've got my Mimikyu and I've got my Banette lead. I'm going to swap Mimikyu out and go into Spiritomb. Now, my Banette set is a Icy Wind, Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak, Phantom Force set. I've got the EVs as Max Attack and Max Health. Insomnia is the ability, and I gave this one Assault Vest to give it some like all-round bulk. It did get a lot of priority moves like Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak. Gets a lot of Ghost type moves as well. So I'm going to be disappearing there. We got a Throat Spray Dondozo with Noble Roar, which is pretty cool. This Spiritomb is a bulky set, so I've got on it Max Health, of course, which is really always good on Spiritomb because it's got very low health. And I've got Sassy Nature, Protect, Sucker Punch, Curse, and Will-O-Wisp. Pressure is the ability, and I gave the item Citrus Bro. So this wasn't bad when I think about like the moveset that Ryme has. It's not bad for using Curse to protect. And say you got a little bit of health left, you can get some extra damage to Sucker Punch. But really, this is a very passive Spiritomb. If you are only using like, I guess status moves, it had no way of doing any like physical damage. I guess outside of the Curse Ryme. So anyway, we got a Dynamax here on my opponent's side of the field, and it is going to be Dynamax Dondozo, nothing like a big DD. Now, this Dondozo is going to be a Terra Water here. So Dondozo, I guess it seems to be like a special set. I'm going to go for a Shadow Sneak there and take out the pink or purple Spidops, I guess you could say. I try to put some spooky music in the background here as well. Wonder if anyone can guess where it's from. So Dondozo is going to go for a Hydro Pump, and it has missed. I thought it might be Surf, but I guess that would be bad if you're running out of a Pokemon that isn't like, I don't know, Water Absorb or something like that. So next Pokemon to come out here is going to be the Garganacl. So this Pokemon is going to be very bulky, and there's a good chance that it might have Purifying Salt. So any of my Ghost-type moves are probably going to be doing, like, nothing to it. Even, like, looking at Banette, and I'm like, well, Sucker Punch is going to do nothing to both of these Pokemon, you know? So, the Spiritomb, I mean, I tried with this set. Most of the time with Spiritomb, I just went for Curse, and then I went for Curse again. Like, if I could get 2 Curses up on the opponent and, somehow get those happening, then I could go for, like, the Protect rate. So I lived on 1 health. You wouldn't read about it, and I got a berry healing back from the Citrus. Now, Dondozo is going to probably go for, like, a Hydro Pump against me, and the Garganacl is going to go for a Rock Polish. So Rock Polish might be able to boot. Actually, it probably will, because these Pokemon aren't very fast on my team. Probably the fastest one is like Mimikyu and Toxtricity. So Garganacl is going to take a Curse there to the face, and I'm going to take Curse going on the Dondozo too. So Dondozo's probably got like one more turn, and it's going to be fainting. So I've lost my Spiritomb, and now I'm going to go into Mimikyu. So Mimikyu's got the Disguise up, which is going to be handy. I've got Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak to go for. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for a Shadow Sneak here, just in case Dondozo's got, goes for like a non-attacking move, I guess. And yeah, I can't really do a lot to Garganacl, really, because I've only got like physical uses. Now, Dondozo swaps out here. I guess, predicting a Sucker Punch, and in comes the Slowking. So Slowking is going to take the Shadow Sneak right to the face. Actually, that wasn't to the face. That was to the nether region of the body. And I'm going to go for a play rough on Garganacl. So Garganacl's going to go for a Rock Blast here. It's funny because even after that Rock Polish, it still didn't outspeed the Mimikyu. So it's going to break my disguise there, and it's going to land 2 Rock Blasters, which is kind of unlucky because that could have done, like, a lot more damage. So Curse is still going there on the Garganacl, and Slowking, I don't see it living unless I got, like, max, damage or something like that. So I went for the Shadow Sneak. Unfortunately, it didn't take out the Garganacl, but Slowking is going to be fainting for that one. There wasn't much point swapping out there for, a regenerator. But maybe you could have gone back into Dondozo to get, like, regenerated and swapped it back in, maybe? Anyway, Garganacl's going to go for a Rock Blast there, and that is going to be the end of that with the Curse. So, Curse is doing some pretty good work here. I guess that was, even though after Spiritomb it has fainted, right, it's still doing some work. Next Pokemon here is going to be the Clorf. It's shiny and blue. It's looking pretty cool. And we've got a Iron Valiant. Now, this is where things started to go very, very wrong. So it's going to get a boost of energy. It's going to boost up its attack. So I was kind of curious what moves it had. Then it had Shadow Sneak. I'm like, uh-oh, this is very bad. Because obviously my entire team is mostly weak to Ghost-type moves. So I went for a Shadow Sneak there because I thought I'd get some damage in before I fainted. I went for a Play Rough on Clorf. I got a handy crit there. But it's got Rocky Helmet, and now Anger Shell is going to activate. And this is going to take like 10 minutes to activate ability. Like, you get the attack, the special attack, everything comes up on the screen all at the same time. Now, the question for today is, what is your favorite Ghost-type Pokemon? Leave it below in the comments section. I'd like to hear what it is. Now, it doesn't have to be on, it doesn't even have to be in Scarlet and Violet. It could be Mega Gengar, right? Let me know what it is in the comment section. I really like to know. I guess I quite like Dusknoir. Dusknoir or Spiritomb. I've always really liked those 2 Ghost-type Pokemon. But what's yours? I'd really love to hear. Put it below in the comment section. Let's see, if anyone's exactly the same. So Bennett's going to fake there to a Shadow Sneak from the Iron Valiant. And here comes another Rock Blast on the Houndstone. Oh, I've got to explain the Houndstone set. So Houndstone doesn't get Last Specs with Ryme, which probably would have been pretty overpowered there. This has got Play Rough, Crunch, Phantom Force, and Ice Fang. It's got the ability Sand Rush, which is kind of weird because the gym leader didn't have any sand Pokemon, so that was strange. And I gave it Power Herb as the item. Ran this one as max health and max attack out of nature. So that's going to be the end of the Houndstone there to the Rocky Helmet. And we've got the Dondozo coming up, which only has a little bit of health and is very, very slow. So that's not too threatening. And I've got my Toxtricity left there versus the Iron Valiant. Now, they know that I'm going to have to go for a Terra Ghost here. So I'm like, all right, I think that I should be able to live Shadow Sneak. I hope I can. What I'm going to do here is go for the Terra Ghost. And I've got Overdrive, a Hex, Boom Burst, and Sludge Bomb. So it has the Punk Rock ability, so with Punk Rock, you may as well run Throat Spray. It's going to be very, very powerful. So I've got Timid Nature and Max Special Attack. I actually tanked that Shadow Sneak a little bit better than what I thought, and Boom Burst is going to drop Dondozo and the Iron Valiant all in the same turn. And that is the end of the very first battle. They're a pretty cool team. From my opponent there. I was really worried about that Shadow Sneak, Anyway, let's get on to battle number 2. And I almost got beaten by Bendozo. It was a shiny, a big shiny whale, What would happen if you just, you're randomly walking along the beach there and you shot, a big shiny yellow whale just jumped out of the water. That would be incredible stuff. Anyway, let's get on to the second battle there. We got a battle against Nadav, and we have a full Blissey team. So this is actually, quite an interesting matchup here when you think about it, because it's like, well, I can't use any ghost type moves against my opponent. However, they can't use any normal types either. So it was kind of a interesting matchup here. Now, Blissey's very, very bulky on the special defensive side, and of course, it's got a lot of health too. Now, its defensive stat isn't really all that good, but most of the attackers on my team, just looking over him now, I couldn't use any ghost moves. That really took out a lot of good moves on my Pokemon, real talk. So anyway, Blissey 5 is going to dodge the attack, and it's going to go for a T-Bolt there on Burnett. it doesn't do a bad amount of damage either. It's probably like a 3-hit KO. So I was thinking about maybe getting some play rough damage here on Blissey. It should be enough to, take it out there. I was also thinking, well, maybe Spiritomb might be good here too. So I went for a slash, and that is enough to take out the Blissey. It's interesting that Mimikyu gets slash as well. I don't know what I'm thinking. Now, this is pretty funny. So Blissey went for a trick here. I'm like, I wonder what item I'm going to receive here. So I got a ring target, and they got an assault vest. Now, that's really bad if you've got special moves. Now, I think that trick actually really messed that Blissey up because they may have had like a lot of status moves there, or they'd have to swap out. That's like a really bad item for Blissey to actually have, unless they had like, all special attacking moves or offensive move. But I don't know what the set was. Anyway, we're going to Terra Blissey. Now, Ring Tiger was actually quite a good idea. So that's going to allow the normal type moves to hit a ghost type Pokemon that is holding the item. So, it gets rid of those immunities. So I'm going to go for the slash there on the Blissey. Here comes the Echoed Voice. So Echoed Voice is going to get exponentially more powerful. I don't really need to worry about it on my other Pokemon though, because, once a Ring Target Pokemon is gone, none of my other Ghost types will be affected. Unless they've got like another Ring Target tucked up its sleeve. So here comes the Terra Normal Facade Blissey. It almost took me out. If they had the boost there of the Toxic, or, Mimikyu definitely would have fainted to that, right? So, as you can see, I can't use hardly any moves here. I've got, I can't use Shadow Seek. I've got, Play Rough and Slash. And I'm just going to go for Blissey 3. Here comes the Sucker Punch. It really isn't doing a lot of damage to Blissey, so I'm guessing these are quite well invested in the defensive stat. Here comes another Echoed Voice, and that is the end of Banette there. I actually have a Banette hat. I've seen, a cool little Banette plushie before. Had, the little... I think you can even open its mouth, like the zipper along its mouth, which is pretty cool. So Mimikyu is going to get its disguise broken, and it's also going to have a Toxic Orb flung at it, poisoning it. So that wasn't a bad play there as well. So I'm like, all right, we've got these big, those big fat Blissies here. We need to take them out. So what's the next best thing to do? I either can't use, there's not too many physical moves, so let's go ahead and go into Spiritomb. I mean, Spiritomb's kind of bulky, so look, I should be able to get a couple of curses off here. Now, Blissey number 5, I think 3 or 5 is going to swap out there, and we've got Blissey number 4 coming. It's like, that's really curious. I mean, outside of Dazzling Gleam or something like that, I don't think there's a lot to hit Spiritomb at all. So what I'm going to do is go for the curse here. That's actually pretty perfect timing, so I'm going to, cut down half my health and put in a curse on the opposing Blissey here too. Now, Blissey's going to take some more damage here. Blissey number 3 is, currently still fainted at the moment. I know what that health bar is still there. And we've got Blissey number 2 coming in. So many Blissies. I don't believe I've actually done a Blissey team before. I'm trying to cast my mind back because I've done 15 or 1600 theme teams on my entire channel. So I don't believe I have. I know that I've done a Blissey sweep. I know that I've done a Chansey sweep. I don't know about Happity though. I'm not sure about that either, but I was sort of just thinking about that. So Blissey's going to take that, kind of badly but it does a Citrus Berry as its item, so it's going to get a little bit more health back. I went for a double curse there on the other Blissey. So once again, I lived on 1 health, and this is a Metronome Blissey. I was like, I wonder what it's going to use. It's going to go for a Crush Claw. That was unlucky because, that was a normal type move. But in Metronome battles, Ghost type Pokemon are fairly strong because they can get around a lot of those normal type moves. So Curse is going to do some more damage there to the opposing Blissey. The opposing Blissey. So I've got to put the S on there because they're both getting hit by Curse. Now, we've got the Spiritomb swapping out here. I might be able to use that later for another Blissey. Look at those Blissies up the top there. Count them eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs there. I don't have 6 eggs in the morning. I have 4 eggs. Sometimes I have 5 when I'm really hungry. Get that toast out, put them eggs on, nice and soft. I like the soft poached eggs. I also like talking about food. So that's going to be the end of the Mimikyu. That's also going to be the end of the Blissey. Speaking of which, people, I do like to read my comment section during my breakfast. So it could be on any video at all there on my entire channel. I always reply in the morning to, basically nearly all my comments. So it's sort of like a daily ritual. So if you want to get a reply from me or, chat to me on a video about something, feel free to do that. I always like to reply. It's like a fun little morning ritual. Anyway, so we got the Blissey coming in here. Sorry, the Houndoom coming in. I'm going to go for a crunch. It packed a little bit of punch. And now we got the Blissey, the Spiritomb fainting to the Curse. But that's okay. It did some pretty good damage there with Curse. I mean, most of the battles, it really was helpful. So it's going to hit me with a Rock Tomb, which is an interesting move to have on, I guess, when you look at Blissey, it doesn't really get too many good physical moves. Not that it's, attack is anything good either. So now I'm going to go into Toxtricity. Now, for a second, I actually I forgot to press the Terra button. I was about to go for it. I think that, I think I actually got Joy-Con drift, or I was thinking that I'd already pressed it, and then I went for the attacking move, so that's why I didn't Terra right away there. But it's all good. I'm going to Terra the next turn. So Blissey's going to pop a normal gem double edge here, only on Pivot Shell. That actually did some really, really good damage there. I guess it just makes up for, like, the high base power of double edge and normal gem, but then you got, like, Blissey's terrible attack, so yeah, it didn't fade. So speaking of fainting, Blissey 1 is going to be going down. There's only one Blissey left, and I've got to go for a Desperation Dynamax. Wait, a Timmy Terra here, and we're going to take out this Blissey with a Ghost. I think I've got, I could use anything but Hex. I found a lot of the time with this Toxtricity, I didn't really use Hex hardly at all. Maybe once or twice. It's just better go for Overdrive or Boom Burst. Anyway, Nadal, thank you for the battle. That was a really cool team. Difficult, very, very difficult matchup there against Ghost-type Pokemon, especially with normal types that, don't have a lot of offensive presence about them at all. All right, people, we got a third and final battle here for today. We got a battle against Lil Eddie, and we got a interesting team here. Now, this is the team I'm actually going to be doing in the very, very near future, so you may even see it this week. So you should be able to guess what this one is. I'll give you a clue if you can't guess. Just read the names of the Pokemon as they come, and not so much the nicknames, the little flavor text before the name. That should be a good enough. That should definitely be a good enough clue there. Anyway, so I thought it'd be a good idea with my Banette to go for Icy Wind. Not so much for all the priority moves that I've got, but it might help out maybe some of my other Pokemon. So I'm going to be going for a Curse there, and I'm going to be eating my Citrus Berry. Now, virtually, it's funny because I'm using movesets the opponent probably knows, and the opponent is using movesets that I know as well. So that should be another really good clue too. So I know that I pretty much know I can take Pikachu out fairly easily, unless they've got I don't know if they popped on an Everlight Pikachu. I have seen Everlight Pikachu. One day I actually I'm not joking about this. I've seen a Pikachu live an Earthquake from a Garchomp. Seriously, it was both level 100. Garchomp went for an Earthquake, and Pikachu lived a Earthquake. It was Everlight. It was only on Pivot Channel moment. I can't remember what video it was in, but it was a magical moment, because that's probably one of the first times I've ever seen that happen. Because Pikachu is it's terrible and bulk right. So we got the Gunk Shot from the Greninja. That doesn't do too much damage. I mean, probably one of the best moves is, I guess, is Water Shuriken too. So Spiritomb is going to go for its final Curse here, and that is going to faint it, which is fine. I actually really like Curse. I think it's a very, very unique move in the fact that, it puts a Curse on the opponent, and then, with non-guys type Pokemon, it has a different effect altogether. I think it's really, really cool. We need some more, really interesting moves like that. So Greninja's going to be fainting to a Curse. I guess there's exactly 6 of these Pokemon now, so yeah. So next Pokemon is, of course, Charizard. Now, I did talk about this the other day in a video. I've talked about it a couple of times. Some of these Pokemon, I don't know if it's all of them, can be on the ground or they can be flying too. It's quite interesting. So Libero Cinderace is going to go for a Iron Head. That's going to break my Mimikyu's disguise there. I don't want to get hit by that. Without the disguise, it's actually going to roll me. So we got the Charizard go for a Smoke Screen. I like a Smoke Screen Charizard. It's a rare shiny Charizard too, I forgot to say. So anyway, Cinderace is going to faint there, which is good, and we're taking out half the team so far. So things are going pretty swimmingly right now. Oh, also, I believe I may have forgot to say that this is the rematch team too. So if I didn't mention it, I'm doing the rematch team. Virtually because the very first teams are kind of bad, and a lot of the time they've got baby Pokemon, and they don't have all the moves and stuff like that. So, with people already knowing what you're going to use, as in moves, you really need all the advantage you can get right. So when it comes to the Decidueye, it's going to be Terra Flying. Charizard has popped a Scary Face. So Scary Face and Smoke Screen Charizard. It is pretty scary, I'll admit. Here comes a Leaf Storm. Leaf Storm does pretty good damage there to the Mimikyu. Decidueye's special attack is going to be dropping a lot. Popping that Icy Wind there. It's not doing a lot of damage, but it is dropping Charizard and Decidueye's speed too. Not that Decidueye... That's one thing about Decidueye. Its speed is
It's really bad. Like, I felt like it should be better. Anyway, Bennett is going to be fainting there, and we're going to bring in the Houndstone now. So, bulky Houndstone should be able to leave, like, you know, heaps of these attacks. Charizard is going to avoid that attack. Now, Houndstone, I can go for the Phantom Force. Can you imagine Ryme with last respects out, like, Houndstone just leaving it to last there? And I don't know, like, some sort of way it goes first. I'm not sure, like a Choice Scarf or, like, I don't know, after you or something. Like, can you imagine that? That would be, like, so powerful. Anyway, I'm going to hit by the Spirit Shackle. That does a lot of damage. I just hung on there on 8 health. Last Pokemon is going to be Toxtricity. I got to go for the Terra here. I got to go for that Terra Ghost. Now, since I did do a Icy Wind before, I know that I will outspeed the opposing Pokemon. Decidueye, 1,000% now, because, you know, Spirit Shackle would absolutely drop me in one shot. Going for the Overdrive there, and that is going to be enough to take out the Charizard and the Decidueye all at once. And that's also the end of the third battle with this team. Hope you enjoyed it, people. I'll be back with a stream tomorrow. Peace out.